welcome to the channel. I'm Mr. Sensible. In fact, a big hello for all the first time viewers. Recently, Mr. Anthony Riley, aka Sleeping Warrior, carried out an experiment. Credit for at least trying an experiment, where he floated an egg in salt water to try and show or try and prove his theory of relative density disequilibrium, where density is the cause of objects moving downwards instead of gravity. Fair enough. Here's a little clip of that experiment.
This is an egg. This is a parts per million counter. Inspired by Jaron's most recent video. If you haven't checked it out, go to his channel, and it's called something like How and Why I Drink Distilled Water. He used one of these and he measured the amount of particulates per million in his tap water. I decided that I could apply what he used, this little bit of technology, not science, this is technology. I could apply this technology and I could perform a practical scientific experiment where I could measure the density of a medium, in this case water, and I can make this egg move all by itself with just a little bit of salt. Yeah, so it's 200 and 300, right? So one's got 100 more parts per million than the other. That tells me that there is a density variation between the two. So what we're going to do is we're going to see what happens when this egg is dropped into here. It sinks and it's touching the floor. Let's take the egg out. Now we'll see what happens when we put it into a more dense medium. Because what we're trying to establish is, if the medium is different, does it make a displacement? Does it force a displacement? If it forces a displacement, according to Newton, there is force. This is just normal table salt from your favourite supermarket. Other supermarkets are available. We can tell that the density of the egg is equal to the part in the glass where the liquid is. What I'm now going to try and prove is that if I change the density of the medium, I will cause the effect by adding salt. So if I can change it, because I'm the experimenter and I'm manipulating my presumed cause, my independent variable is the medium, that egg moves, I've caused it. We know the parts per million is about 300. All we need to do is pour some of this in. Hey, what do you know? The eggs immediately moved. Didn't have to wait for that, did we? And I've obviously created a force. The density of the medium has displaced the egg. The egg moved. That's an accelerated mass. So therefore, Newton states that there is a force. I caused it with this. So in scientific method, the cause of the displacement is this. I've caused it. I've manipulated it. I added the salt. It caused something. I did it. I'm within scientific method. If you assert that gravity in any way caused something in this experiment, that means you are adding a secondary cause. Adding by inference. If you add a secondary cause by inference, you fall outside of scientific method because you can't infer an extra cause when you've already got one that you've manipulated.
Well, following Anthony's experiment video, I thought I'd do a debunk video of my own. Within that video, I carried out 2 experiments, both with cheese. The first one was to try and demonstrate that just because you manipulate the independent variable and something happens, you cannot just assume that it's the independent variable that is the cause, but the presumed cause. The second experiment, also with cheese, was a balance. A balance to show that the density of objects, or varying density of objects, does not make a varying force. Let's have a very quick look at both of those experiments. Here we are, set up and ready. Our dependent variable is a small flat earth map sitting on a counter. Our independent variable is about half a pound of cheese sat on top. My hypothesis is that if I lift a block of cheese, a flat earth map will suddenly go flying away. My null hypothesis is that when I manipulate the cheese, the map will remain in place. Let's see and measure the effect of manipulating my independent variable. Oh dear, we got quite an effect there. Perhaps the controls in our experiment aren't good, and we should look to see if there's an alternative explanation for the flat earth map flying away. Well, with time and study, I believe I can improve this experiment by controlling the extraneous effect of the fan. Now that this factor is properly controlled, we can run our experiment again and see the true effect of manipulating the independent variable. Wow, the map stays in place. So manipulating the independent variable did not have an effect. It was not the cause of the map flying away. Come with me now to my secret lab. What we got here is a simple balance with a little hook at each end that I've made. As you can see, it's balanced. Next, we're going to use some cheese. This cheese in a bag at each end. It's not quite enough on the one to the right, so let's add a little bit more. Get that in there. I think as near as damn it, that's balanced. Here's the bag of cheese from the right hand end of the balance. What shall we do with it? I know. Let's increase its density and make it into one solid lump. Here's our balance with the single bag of still grated cheese. Here's our bag of high density cheese. Let's hang it on the other end and see what happens. Just steady it a little, save time. And what do you know? The bag on the right has dense matter in it. The bag on the left has less dense matter. And yet we've got a balance. How can this be, Anthony? If density is the force, why isn't the one on the right pulling itself down harder? I know what you're going to say. Something like, of course this balances because they're the same weight. Yes, and what's weight? Weight is mass times acceleration. I've increased the density, but not the mass. It's the mass times acceleration caused by gravity. You've just been busted by some cheddar cheese. Following my cheesy debunk video, I posted a comment on one of Anthony's videos, pointing him towards it, hoping that he would respond in some way. Sometime later, I went back to have a look to check to see if there was any replies, and I couldn't find my message. I didn't know if it was just that I couldn't find it or if it had been deleted. So I posted a comment on my video, basically pointing this out. And Anthony responded. I didn't delete your comment, it's how I found this video. I'm watching now, but judging by the initial personal approach, I'm doubtful I'll be responding properly, but we will see. So I responded to Anthony's comment, thanking him for not deleting my message and admitting that yes, my video was gently teasing. I don't think it was too hurtful, but there we go. And I said that if he makes a response video, then I will respond to it in a totally impersonal manner. I also created a quick video basically saying the same and sort of apologising and offering to debate. So there you are, Anthony. I'm a decent chap. I've made a polite apology for any offence you may have taken. My points still hold, and I would be grateful if you would make a response video, to which I will happily reply equally politely. How's that? So I think that brings you guys just about up to date with what's been happening. Anthony then made or carried out a breakdown of my debunk video with comments. I replied to them, he replied to me, I replied back a couple of times, all well and good. And then he posted this message. Rather than the lengthy back and forth, why don't we start this again on a hangout? I can come to you, or you can come to me, or we could both broadcast it. You can make your criticisms of your video live for an audience, allow me to respond, etc, etc. People want to see me challenged, and I like your approach. And I do want to address all of your points. What do you think? I think that's a cracking idea, Anthony, I really do. So I replied, Hi Anthony, that would be great. Would be best if we can make direct contact somehow and try to arrange things. I have a Discord server, only set up today. We need to sort a way to chat securely to set everything up. My link is in the description. I've tried to set up a private room so we can chat confidentially. Is there a good way to contact you? Time passed. This is now 3 hours ago. Anthony, I replied earlier, yes, I'm up for a debate, hangout, etc. We need to get in touch privately. Do you have Discord? Can you give me some way to enable me to chat with you to arrange this? So I was waiting for a reply. But Anthony's been in and out of my comment section like nobody's business. 6 hours ago, 5 hours ago, 4 hours ago, 2 hours ago, 1 hour ago. A short while ago I saw this. Mr. Sensible, has our Tony agreed to your offer of a debate yet? Hi Rosie, earlier on in this thread he was suggesting we do a hangout or something. I've agreed and twice here posted for him to get in contact. I don't think there's anything underhand at all. We just need to be in contact with each other to enable it to happen. I hope we can get this sorted. So there we have it, Anthony. You were very kindly to offer for us to get together to thrash this out, and I'm more than happy to, and more than happy to do it in a civil manner, and I would love to do it. So please either give me a way to get in touch with you, or jump in on my Discord server, or find some other way to get in touch, just so we can sort out all the details and lay the ground rules between ourselves. And then let's do this thing. Anyway, thanks again for watching, everyone. If you haven't already, please subscribe using the little ball in the corner. And until next time, when I'll probably do another debunk video, until next time, stay sensible.
Shut up and sit down.